part two of the 15th of August 2018. I went to show you that lovely drawing and then we got blipped off because my iPhone hates me, or I don't know why. Maybe it's a good thing that it got broken up into two parts. Sometimes I find that it's almost like kismet, so I'm not too worried. It's just a minor irritation. But anyway, here we are at Sacred Space, Titania's Realm, and I was reading from the 15th of August 2019. And I was reading from a post by Jude Downs, Gateway to Inner Alchemy, and I commented on that. Who am I? Not anything or anyone I recognised in youth, shining bright like a diamond formed under extreme long-term pressure, undervalued by most, prized by the wise. 15th of August 2018. I had another rough night last night, belching and tossing and turning all night with snatches of sleep in between. I will have to take things easy today. And for no reason but that I must have felt inspired to do so, I posted a photo of me from 2003, back when I had my dreadlocks. Let's hope we don't get blipped off again, right? By the gods, that's annoying. So, I had dreadlocks for 6 months until they all grew out because my hair's so fine. They just snapped off when I was swimming in a swimming pool, which was not cool. So, yeah, I loved having dreadlocks. If my hair wasn't so fine and weird, I'd still have dreadlocks to this day, probably. But anyway, it is what it is. 15th of August 2017. Jared looked at both laptops last night. The latter one is fixable. It needs a new screen. The older one is less fixable, as it needs a new motherboard. So now I know I can get back on the internet for about $100. I am much relieved. Today we met up at Redland Bay and took the dogs for a lovely walk and swim on the beach there. Pretty spot. Beauregard loved the gentle waves and calm waters and went in the water up to his shoulders quite voluntarily. He was so happy to be out on the beach. I must take him there more often. I bought a lovely handmade timber ladder today for $30. The goal was to hang it from my kitchen ceiling so I can hang pots and pans from it. But you know, not quite inclined to drill more holes in my asbestos ceiling. So I have put the ladder in the spare room and will think of ways to use it for decoration or storage. Crystal comes home in 4 months or so. When she takes all her stuff out of my house, I will have room for more artistic signature pieces. Decluttering and keeping only the most interesting and quirky will be most likely in order. 15th of August 2016. Looks like we're going to get more rain after all. Oh, anyway, it is what it is. It's good for the ground. 3 hours sleep, woken by Penny tearing up the couch and bouncing off the walls in the lounge room. Got up. She ran into the kitchen and tried to hide under the dining table. Threw her gnawing, felonious ass outside. I let Sophie and Mushi inside simultaneously at the back door. So tired I could cut my own head off and wear it under one arm. I call that depersonalisation. Actually, I get like that sometimes. I feel like I'm not really here or there or anywhere. It's an awful feeling. But in that case, it was just exhaustion. Back in bed, Facebooking, drink some water, stomach still aching. I can tell I wasn't well because I was writing in like phrases but not full sentences. Some of my writing is quite astonishing. I can see what headspace I was in. Stomach still aching. Death would be such a relief, but God is not done with me yet. A perturbing inconvenience, but also at times a revelation and a celebration. My presence is required on this planet, even if I don't feel like shaping up or shipping out. I keep getting up, standing up, strutting my stuff, rinse and repeat, sighs, all good. Back to Schluff before another cat decides to drive me mad. Update, 15th of August 2020. Oh, how I grieve for my beautiful Penny. Wait for me in Valhalla, my bright, blessed girl. Kiss. Yup. Would do anything to have her wake me up during the night and be mischievous again. She also had a habit because of my sleep apnea, and I frequently would stop breathing in my sleep. She had a habit that I would sometimes wake up lying on my back and I'd be woken by a gentle pat from her paw on my lips. She could hear or sense that I'd stopped breathing, so she'd sit on my chest and she'd literally wake me up by tapping me on my lips. That's what a wonderful healer, friend, nurse, companion, love of my life she was. Probably freaked her out thinking her mother was going to die in her sleep, am I right? I know it used to freak out my ex-boyfriend Courtney, who once said to me, I don't know what's worse. I said, what's that? He said, you're snoring. He said, which isn't too bad. You just sound like a purring tiger. He said, or the sound of you stopping breathing and I'm lying there counting the seconds until you breathe again. I said to him, why are you lying there? Why don't you just give me a bit of a nudge? He went, I don't know. So just curious to see how long it takes for you to breathe again. I realised he wasn't actually, he wasn't all that keen on preserving my life, am I right? But look, I went without treatment for 21 years by choice. I actually always thought that maybe, just maybe, I might stop breathing in my sleep and it would be a gentle way out of this fucking unloving, unsupportive, awful hellscape. But anyway, at the end of the day, I realised under quite a bit of considerable pressure from both my psychiatrist and my urologist in the past 6 months or so, I realised if I don't do the CPAP, then I've got no show of healing my bladder or my sleep states at all. So I've been compliant this time. And I'll be honest with you, according to my CPAP device, I slept 9 hours and 26 minutes last night. I stopped breathing 1.2 times an hour, even with CPAP blowing air into my lungs. And I feel like hell today. I feel like I haven't slept a wink, and yet I had a long sleep. So I don't know what that's about. I should be refreshed. I should feel great, you know. I felt strong enough to rake the leaves up on one side of my property here, but I feel wrung out today. Some days are worse than others. I don't know why that is. There's no reason that I should not have had enough air in my lungs last night. But I find it interesting that I'm still having, you know, one to two events an hour, even with the CPAP. So it tells me it's some other mechanism that's shutting off my breathing. Fuck me, it's going to take a long time to heal from this. I reckon it's going to take the full 12 months because my body is just so stubborn, just wanting to shut down all the time, you know. It's astonishing that I've been able to survive this way, by the way, for 21 years since I was diagnosed in 2003. And I would have had sleep apnea even before then. I think I got it from all the strangulations, all that crushing on my neck. I think that's probably what caused it, although it's possible that I even had it as a child, so who knows. Even my psych, when he saw the results, he said they don't know what the actual mechanism is. He said because technically your lungs are quite strong and quite powerful, so they can't work out why this is happening to me. But anyway, I'm not living in death consciousness and I'm not whining about my health. I'm just trying this treatment and with the hope that I get better and better and better, babies. And if I get better, I'll be fucking dangerous, because I haven't had good health ever before, really, in real terms. So it'll be astonishing, and I'm just going to keep moving towards that, manifesting better health, so that I can invite, a beautiful man into my life and prosper and be more vibrant and healthier and stronger and more powerful and more beautiful, and, be able to have a loving partnership at long last. It's kind of a fantasy in a way, but it's something I'm working towards. Gives me hope for my future at the very least. At almost 60, it's all I've got left is this hope for my future. Even I kind of have to laugh sometimes. Anyway, 15th of August 2015, 8:30 p.m. I slept all day and evening. I was really not travelling well leading up to that suicide attempt. It's coming up regularly in my memories. Time to glam up and show up and dance again. A nice farmer who was keen on Joe invited me to dance with them again. We shall have fun doing what we always do. That was Tony, who only comes up once every 2 years, and told Joe that he'll see her in 2 years. I said, Joe, don't wait for a man for 2 years. I mean, he's a nice fellow, but I said, that's kind of rude of a man expecting you to sit around waiting for some man to put in an appearance. I said, no. She agreed with me too. Anyway, we had fun with him. He was a nice man. He was generous to buy us drinks and actually would dance with both her and I. We had this little joking thing going, like a BDSM joke, but I'm not really into BDSM. That's why it was a joke. It's vile, but with him we had this, I used to stir him up and grab him by his tie and drag him around by his tie, and he would laugh. Oh, we had fun, him and I. He knew I was joking. He knows I'm not really into kink or anything perverted. And also, I was just being a friend because he was in love with my friend Joe, and I actually hoped that he would get his shit together and actually, invite her down to his farm and build a fucking life with her and be a real man, am I right? But no, maybe he was really needing a good swift kick up his ass because he couldn't get it together. But to be honest, the fact that he wouldn't do that made me think, I think he's probably married, wait for me once every 2 years. I told him he was an arsehole and that my friend was too good to him and she waits for no man. And even he kind of nodded. He said, only you would talk to me straight like that, Tanya. I said, indeed. Don't waste my friend's time and emotions. I said, I wouldn't like it if you did it to me. Don't do it to my friend. And anyway, I don't see that friend anymore since I left the casino, and she didn't bother to maintain contact with me. So here I was fighting for her honour as a woman, and where are they now? Sloughed off babies. I mean, you kind of have to laugh. Anyway, it is what it is. 15th of August 2014. Free spirit with attitude and me. That's my friend from Pal Talk, Julie. Fuck yeah. Awesome night. Chilling. Took me a year to bring her the Suncatcher, but we got there in the end. 4:30 a.m. Exhausted and listening to Penny chewing on her claws. That was one bad habit that Penny had that was kind of gross. Horrible grinding and gnawing, wrenching sound. No vomit tonight. Thanks, my sweet. Tonight, heading home from Julie's place, I saw 1:11 a.m. on my clock in the car. So I said a little manifestation prayer to my angel squad, then went inside the house. Like 3 minutes later, I sit on the couch, look down at my iPhone, and blow me down with a feather from Gabrielle. There again was the time, 1:11 a.m. So good, I get to see it twice in 3 minutes. I know. Either my car clock is fast, or my iPhone clock is slow, or I lost time. But there again, 1:11 being hammered home to my consciousness. What does it mean, dude? Keep Yah Adonai Eloheinu posted. I wrote Yah, Y-A-H. Keep Yah Adonai Eloheinu posted. Watch this space. Don't think it meant anything. Just one of my little synchronicities that I find amusing. I should really write my own song. Goes something like this. I saw you, you saw me, you wanted to chew your arm off. I don't care. Gonna keep dancing and ride this vibe till I die. Okay, I will leave it to the experts. The lunatic is on the grass. The lunatic is in my head. Move over, there's only room for one love junkie in here. Walk on the wild side, babies. I wait, better shave my legs. 15th of August 2011. You kind of have to laugh. Dear Goddess. That man was a psychic vampire par excellence anyway, so he can keep on walking, and I've shaved my legs. I've washed that man out of my hair, and by the gods, I have gorgeous men in my life now. All platonic, but gorgeous and loving and kind and soul nourishing and supportive. So that one, the best he can do is haunt me at Christmas time, December time, at Crossroads. Sad but true. You kind of have to laugh. 15th of August 2011. I wonder what Papa Legbud does to vampires, since he's a guardian of the crossroads and of cemeteries. Interesting thought. Oh well. Papa Legbud's doing a fine job of keeping him far away from me. Thank you, Papa. 15th of August 2011. True blood is in my blood. I want to run with the wolves, wreak vengeance like the vampires, and float with the fae all day long. I wait. Been there, done that. Next. Oops, missed that damn spot. P.S. Is there a shifter in the house? I was going through at that point of time the most fucking awful, evil will dispute orchestrated by my mother and her con artist husband and his con artist daughters. So I was probably invoking all the metaphysical protectors that I could, by the way. It's interesting that I invoked an actual psychic vampire, two of them, a former friend as well, into my life in 2013 and 2014. No accidents in the universe. Be careful what you ask for, just saying. Anyway, they're out of my life. Thank the gods. It took a long time to extricate from them too. That's how intense their vampirism was. But they weren't the only vampires. I mean, my mother was one. She was an energy vamp. Who else was one? Gail. Ooh, Gail was, she was a serious energy vamp. Maybe not quite as bad as my mother. Like, I would walk into my mother's house in Wellington Point. She had a lovely home in Wellington Point. I'd walk in to visit her, because I'm a daughter doing my duty by her. Fucking thing she was. Oh, she was evil. Anyway, I'd walk in and I'd be like, "Hi, Mum. Oh, hello, darling. You brought the children. Oh, lovely. We'll make a nice cup of tea," because she was always very hospitable. My mother could be very, very charming and charismatic. She wasn't being completely fucking rotten and putrescent. But anyway, I'd walk in and literally within 10 minutes I'd be sitting having a cup of tea with her. I'd just look at her and say, "I'm sorry, Mummy, I've got to have a lie down." "Was? Already? You just came to visit me. You're doing this to avoid me." Maybe unconsciously I was, to be fair. But it was just like, it would be like a heavy lead blanket had been put over my auric field, and I would feel like I was dead. I was suffocating, and I'd be like, "Kids, play with Ormi and talk to Ormi, tell Ormi about school and what you're up to." And I would literally go and I'd lie down on the couch with them, be in full view of them, wouldn't completely remove myself, but I'd lie down on the couch. I'd pass out with exhaustion. It was intense. And then I'd sleep probably for 15, 20 minutes, half an hour, and I'd wake up and just look at Mum and I'd be like, "I'll have a cup of tea, Mum, with you now." "All you ever do is sleep. You're just avoiding." My mother was highly intelligent, by the way. She was not stupid. You've avoided me for half an hour, now you'll have to deal with me," she'd say to me. It was almost demonic because it was kind of true, I'd be like, "Mummy, I don't come here to avoid you. I don't know why, but when I come here, I just have to pass out." And "Okay, darling, okay." So then I'd sit and I'd have some cake with her and a cup of tea and listen to her, regaling me of all her life experiences or whatever spiritual awarenesses she was going through at that time, and sit there and try and keep it very civil and pleasant and very contained, because she could push buttons and grind my gears like no other humanoid on this planet, because she knew me too well, because she was my mother. And then I would say, "Okay, well, time to go now, kids." Usually I'd decide to leave when she'd start the button pushing, which wouldn't take her long because, she couldn't help herself. And then we just, "Bye, Mum, love you, yeah, bye." And I'd get up, get in the car and drive home. And sometimes I'd go home after visiting her and I'd have to crawl into bed again. It would be that fucking depleting. It was intense. Really seriously intense. And a lot of it was, I had depression at the time too, so there was that, but a lot of it I think was fucking spiritual attacks. When we went back to clean out her home, the public trustee gave me permission to take the chattels, and I found 4 jars with my photo, the identical photo that was taken back in 2004, lined up in a row as if I was trapped inside the jar. I think that was her fucking evil husband's doing, putting spells on me so I couldn't fight back and get justice against them. It was evil. I realised then, I thought, who does black magic spells on their own daughter? My mother, that's who. So it's beyond evil what I endured with that woman. But look, here we are, fighting as I was that evil will dispute, so I could have nice teeth and a car and a bed. That's all I got out of it. It's kind of ridiculous when you think about it. But anyway, life goes on. I'm alive. I have the brains and the willpower and the potential to still make something of my life, even though I'm old now. It could happen. I might be like Colonel Sanders, who started KFC when he was 80, am I right? And miracles could happen. I could still manifest my own success and wealth creation. I don't know how, but miracles have been known to happen, babies. I am already a miracle that I'm still alive after the childhood and the 20s and the 30s and the 40s that I endured. It's nothing short of astonishing and miraculous. So I try to cut myself some slack sometimes when I get frustrated and cry about all the things I've missed out on in life that other people were able to, manifest because they didn't have the same cumulative trauma I had. Must be nice to have a normal, happy, safe, joyful existence. I wonder what that would feel like. Anyway, here we are, down to the 15th of August 2010. Bear in mind my mother had died in March, so April, May, June, July, 5 months. She was still very much pulling on my energy. It almost felt like she was trying to drag me literally to hell with her, or wherever she is, whatever dimension she is. And she was pulling at me constantly. That and the evil will dispute was just so debilitating. So I wrote here, I'm so exhausted today. After shopping with Crystal and Jared at IKEA and helping her pick out a new washing machine and fridge and microwave, that when I got home at 3 p.m, I collapsed on my bed and passed out until 6:30 p.m. I think I've been overdoing things with my sleep apnea. I must rest more. Well, I do tend to overdo things, push myself too hard, and it's also a figment of my, will to thrive, I guess, and my complex PTSD. I will sometimes really, really overdo things and then collapse for days. It's just how I am. My energy ebbs and flows like the tides. It was even prophesied in a astrological report that was done for me when I was 11. They actually worded it that way. They said at times her energy will ebb and flow, and that I would struggle to achieve things in life because of that. So that's been borne out to be true. But anyway, on that note, thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. It's a beautiful day, still hanging in the balance as to whether it's going to rain or shine. But whatever happens will happen. And Mama T, aka the Tanya, aka Miss Five, aka me, psychedelic dreamer, will ride through all the storms and all the new awakenings and blossomings and new growth potential, and the rain and the shine. I will soldier or sail through it as I have always done, and that's just how it is, babies. For every mortal on this planet, we get to ride shotgun with life and death simultaneously sometimes, and always and forever choose life while you're in this physical incarnation. It's a gift and a blessing, as often it can be a curse at times. But choose life, because you never know what's around the corner. Like my beautiful life I've been gifted in the last 12 months since Beauregard's death. It's been heartwarming and inspiring and motivating and just amazingly gorgeous. To all my beautiful ones that contributed to this new becoming. I love you all. God's bless. From the Tanya at Titania's Realm Sacred Space. Bye for now.